Hello folks and welcome back to AGO Esports vs Elements Pro Gaming. That's right here, of course, with the HellCase Cup number 7 Group B, as we are going to be going through this evening. Just the 3 maps. Of course, we did have 4 planned, but unfortunately there were a few hiccups here and there, and it means that that first map did not come through. Red Reserve versus Prosto will be delayed until I believe it is after the 26th of Feb now, so a little bit of a waiting game until that match will come through. But what that does mean is there's a little bit of a shorter night, but also a little bit of a closer night, because bear in mind, it is a double header for both Ecstatus and AGO and EPG, so it's it's a bit of an interesting one all around. Both teams going to be playing back to back. It's almost kind of like this best of 2 style to it, but obviously not playing each other directly, so definitely interesting to see kind of how they can carry over that performance moving forward. Of course, it is going to be AGO versus EPG here, then we go into AGO versus Ecstatus, and then EPG versus Ecstatus right after that. Nonetheless, it is going to be an A main push, and we just see 2 early kills. It's going to be a 3rd as well. That is just looking quick and easy. Nickelback taking down just another with a simple headshot. Leaving Snatchy with a lot to be desired. Coming in towards A main, that is going to be the aim of the game. But what could he possibly do? Just USPs tapping him down, and I mean, that's just disgusting to watch. Beautiful start by Elements Pro, and let's see what they can really do here now. Getting themselves the pistol, of course, on cash is a pretty good way to start the show, but they've got to keep it going with some consistency, as they do look for their second, of course. AGO going to be going to this one with the CZs, the P250s. Pretty standard stuff. It's going to be the simple smoke off the wall towards B, which will actually push AGO back just a tad. They're not really going to be pushing through that anytime soon. It's a little ballsy, so. EPG just looking for information on their CT side, trying to get an idea of kind of what is going to be coming their way. Got to be so cautious not to give up a free pick, though. I mean, the problem with these pistols is that if they take down one player, they get that surprise factor, and they use that to kind of leapfrog on towards the site. You get yourself a bit of an issue just based on that surprise factor alone. These pistols can be pretty deadly if you do let them get close. Looks like we're going to start to see that come through as well. I mean, they're going to cross right through the smoke. They're going to catch Hooch completely by surprise. You've got Creed darting around with a UMP, but this actually might work out for him when you look at the bomb, bear in mind. He's got support coming in from Nickelback. That flash has bought him the 10 seconds he needed. The second flash comes in. This is perfect. They are completely blind. It's going to be a bloodbath down on B. Snatchy is all that remains. And Cree is hungry. Unfortunately, going to have to pay a costly price for going for that kill. He's going to lose his life, of course, but his teammate does trade. And the CPG still to go 2-0 up as AGO now after full eco. Few nades, couple of flashes here and there. Just a very patient style of play now coming out from EPG. No reason at all for them to be doing anything too crazy. Just use your utility to stop any sort of blob sort of play come in from these pistols. No kind of like 5-man stacks to B halls, for example. Easiest way to describe this is you're effectively trying to slow the round down to a grinding halt, and from there, that's where you find your success. AGO all grouped up towards A main. Going to be looking to see if they can just catch the likes of Nickelback by surprise, but him actually being up and above is critical here because he can really just rain down almost hellfire. The frag grenade is also pretty damn good, and yeah, I mean, it's a pick after pick for him at this point. Felon to sneak in one from below, but should pretty much be a trading game at this point forward. AGO be good for a little bit of damage, 2 kills in fact, but I don't imagine Snatch Sheet being good for a 3rd. It is going to be Elian to put him in the grave. 3-0, the perfect start. But this is where things get dicey. AGO can finally afford to spend into this one, as they will be bringing 5 AK-47s into the fray, and a bunch of utility to go along with it too. AGO opting just to play one towards B. You see a molly come out, but it is only going to be just a bit of a bait setup coming in from Snatchy. Meanwhile, across the rest of the map, we're seeing a little bit of presence towards A main. And got 2 players there just to lurk around, see what they can find. No real mid pressure being applied either. No kind of, I don't believe. Yeah, Toa's not on boost, so there is pretty much nothing being shown towards mid from AGO at all. What will be important to keep an eye on is just looking where that first bit comes from. Furlan now finally going to get himself up on towards boost. Looks like he's going to be going straight for the good old-fashioned lineup if he wants to, which could actually bear some pretty significant dividends, providing he plays it right. Was Cree just sat in towards vent. The molly absolutely perfect at slowing this round down. 35 seconds left, and they can't push until at least about 20 come up on the clock. I'm going to start to see a few rotates come up towards A, but nothing too important. You still got Cree, and you still got Hooch, and I love this position from Hooch, getting himself close in towards corner with 20 seconds left. It really comes down to this. You got Cree doing all of the damage with 12 HP. I don't see this being winnable at this point. Hooch is just going to dive on around. It will be a quick trade, but there's 10 seconds on the clock, and that bomb has to get to the site. I don't know if it can do it. I don't know if it can get away with it. Elliot needed to land the shot, but he misses. He whiffs. It's all on Yekanda, and it will be thrown away. AGO, they snipe him with a round based on Elian missing that shot to deny the plant. It all crumbles from there. And that puts AGO on the board. This is where it begins. 3-1. And they've already completely smashed away the EPG economy. What am I listening to? Of course, Groovy. Of course. The Negev definitely a solid weapon of choice here. Couple of flashes. Just going to build up towards B. Of course, the bomb on the back of that site. AGO, no further in a bit of a pickle, just based on how easy it would be for them to start losing players. But we've got PHR just flicking backwards and forwards. Ruby Snatchy all holding it down, and it will be AGO keeping it clean in the end. Surviving with 3 players, of course. Only prompting the 2 rebuys. And most importantly, getting themselves that second round. Smoke flash plate to come through. Snatchy is going to be caught out of the back of that. Nice trade. Put in play by Mick and Dirt. I'm going to see a bit of re-aggression come in. It is just backwards and forwards for AGO, but they do come out on top in the end, just based on that door wrap play. Now with the cross smoke as well, there's no real issue for with getting to the site. They are going to take a few joules, and we see a bit of aggression from Hooch, but it's nothing they can't shut down. Furlan dispatching of him as he comes up close and personal. And it is going to be equalised 3-3, and AGO start to find themselves in a bit of a rhythm on their T side. EPG once again cannot afford to spend any money. It'll be AGO stepping out ahead and likely taking control of this game as they secure themselves their 4th round. A few early shots already coming out, a lot of damage being done. This EPG lineup just nade after nade, flash from flash. Ultimately found themselves torn from limb. Really less than ideal, but it's something they have to come to handle, really. Pistols being a little surprising here and there. We do see some good picks, but for the most part, it is looking fairly sensible. We've got an SMG just waltzing through the A site right now. You got Furlan clearing out Fork. Actually finds him in the smoke in the end, so there's going to be a bit of confidence found off the back of that. Because the only real curveball was the fact the bomb is technically controlled by EPG, but I don't think this is something they're really going to have to contend with too hard. Just one good flash and it's pretty much theirs. Instead, you walk into a P250, you give up a double kill. That is just not needed at all. Now you have an AWP and a rifle in play. Complete different situation, but they are going to get aggressive. Toa, Mag 10 through the side of the smoke. Why not? Still is going to be a one-on-one, though, as Furlan tries to just force the fight, getting absolutely nowhere. Going for a wallbang instead. Peeks into the crosshair of Nickelback, but a headshot does not come through. Still very much even Stevens. Continue their back and forth duel. Little duet is going to come to an end, though. I thought Furlan would be caught, but just slipping away onto the site. They're going to be going for that nice and safe plant. Getting away with it, just 4 seconds to spare, and has to jump on Nickelback. Thanks to that as well. Perfectly played, AGO. Squeezing it out, 4-3. Of course, it is going to be just a breather here for AGO. Losing a player, not exactly ideal. Ruby just struggling right now with something technical. Meaning they are going to have to solve that. Looks like he's good to go. They're back into the server already, so nice and quickly. Back into this one, we will be going. AGO just going to be looking to really play spread out across the whole map, which is the exact sort of play we're really witnessing. Just going in these pairs, of course, you have got the duo of Furlan and Toa to play together. Smoke Molly does get comboed out on towards the A site, but they've got to be so weary right now about how they approach that. Back, able to just rip in towards Boost. It is Snatchy to play peekaboo with it on the other side. That flash is actually going to be a bit of an issue, but ultimately doesn't affect things too much aside from allowing him to cross the vent. That's when he can escape, right? He suddenly gets himself an exit. Nice kill from Snatchy though to at least favour things back towards his T side. Now they can start to be thinking about their options towards A once again. Groovy. Just going to be walking out in mid, but fair play to the guy. He's making it stick. Another headshot for him. Going to be found. Yakin is trying to hold down this A site. Well, he's going to be left blind. Actually, he's told to blind himself, but you know what, AGO, they're trading. It's a 3v1. It's not going to be an impossible scenario. This pretty much should be over for Hooch more than anything else. Just pistols, unfortunately, now for EPG. Less than ideal, but it is what it is. They'll have to try and make something work out of it. We're just going to see the same sort of down and dirty play from AGO. Walking in through checkers. Groovy securing that first headshot. A little more to be done as well, as he then does find the body of Creep. EPG still searching for that out, but just really unable to rally the troops they need in this one. Already looking like they are just going to get completely annihilated in mid. And it is going to just push us forward to a 6-3 scoreline, which is a pretty solid situation for HO to be in when you consider just how many rounds they've actually picked up back-to-back. Like we said, it is going to be 6-3. They smoke does come over. Molly's as well being greeted in a main felon. Going to be getting ever so aggressive. It's an easy kill for Nickelback to find. Quite sure why he gets kind of that deep into it, but it is what it is. The main play as well working wonders for EPG. That's Yakin finding himself a double. Snatchy going to give himself up as Elliot just holds the angle. So rewarding right now for EPG. As they just annihilate AGO. Not a single pick found by AGO at all there on their T side. Nonetheless, AGO, I feel like they're going to be feeling the heat a little bit from that round, just realizing that you can't just run around freely. There is a little bit of structure behind EPG, and Ashley is getting them around, so it's nice to see them kind of just group up towards B, but just show a certain level of respect towards this EPG team, which I think might come back to haunt them. Just even if it is in the form of Hooch, I mean, that angle alone is actually pretty nasty. He's going to push them back, though, with just one good flash. Couple of smokes, flashes, all got to come through. Molly's under vent as well, prompting the drop from Kree. I mean, Bulls are still to commit that hard, but fair play. I mean, they feel very, very confident. That's going to be what comes through, and it's exactly what does happen. AGO come flying through this B main smoke, and it is loud to the slaughter. Finally, Groovy is going to respond, and Fleur actually does take down Nickelback, so it's not all bad. The site is still yet to be there. Snatchy, you know, take down Hoopso does give himself up, and he is putting in the work right now with the AWP. A second kill, instantly claimed. Leaving just Alien up against 3 now. 30 seconds on the clock, but soon to change, as that bomb is going to be planted. allowing it to tick on down. Looks like it is going to be relatively safe. Yeah, Alien is going to get away. Wasn't sure if we'd be able to see if Pietro get there in time, but they're not going to come through. Waiting patiently now to see how this does play out. Snatchy already losing that early scoped advantage though. Once again, an initial pick being put in play by EPG. Just going to be getting aggressive through mid, actually bearing a pretty significant reward. Just find that pick on Groupie is something else entirely. Sure, Furlan does trade, but it's kind of a little late here. I mean, we're already seeing B main aggression come out. Basically, they know it's going to be an A play, really, no matter what happens now. Which means you have got, with Elliot and Nickelback there, ready and waiting for whatever it is you're going to throw at them. Fact is, right now it's just a basic cross smoke. Flash is going to come out as well, but let's see how they compose themselves. The double peek is smart. Creep has the big flank. I mean, this is looking like it may well be over. The site has been taken by AGO, so a thinly veiled chance. Creep having to win that duel in A main, but the follow-up flash, I like this from him. It's a bit ballsy, but it still does the job. Now, Hooch, of course, going to go in with the pistol to try and finish this one off. Try and push them over the line. 11 HP all that remains, but it's not going to be enough. AGO, even when the going gets tough, they still pull through. They double down on the scoreline 8-4, and you take a glance at the economy of EPG, and you start to get a feel for how this game is developing. Looking like it is going to be just a simple B all in. Snatchy already doing a pretty good job of catching Kree as he does try and peek out. So taking down Hooch should pretty much solidify any sort of presence in mid. AGO have got themselves the B site without really any resistance. They are just kind of running around and tapping heads. But there you have it. 9-4. AGO looking for that sweet spot of 11. Round 14, just 2 away, of course, from getting our conclusion on this half. And AGO looks like they're actually going to break into an execute, or they're just going to get very aggressive from door very quickly. Snatchy was instantly pushed back, but that's just going to prompt them to go flying out through the smoke anyway, and it works out pretty well. You got your Kinder playing towards lockers, but not long before the site is still going to be taken. You have got Nickelback coming in towards A main. He is still going to be there to cause a bit of a ruckus, and actually getting 2 kills. Pretty significant when you consider the fact that Furlan is on 8 HP. Snatchy being dropped to the ground means it will just be Furlan. All that remains. Playing this from quad. Almost going to peek right into the crosshair of Creep. That is unfortunate. course, EPG get out. Wanting that 9-6, but Angio not want to really let it go from a challenge. Already a bit of damage being done here and there, but nothing too fanciful. We're just seeing some good positions set up by EPG, including setting Nickel back on Shroud. I really like that idea, especially without making the sound cube. Means that if anyone was there, kind of looking towards the door, which we do see from top, they're not gonna not know. Snatchy taking down Hooch. Good for a second as well. Snatchy, please. Yekunda burning in the flames. That is... yeah, okay. That's tough. I mean, it's spreading, don't get me wrong, but thought he'd be able to at least get out of it. Problem is he was being chased by PHR anyway, so not really too much to it. Nickelback being caught in mid, meaning it's pretty much a sealed deal at this point. Elian is the only player left on this CT side, and I'm not quite a believer that I used to be. He's going to cross on over, but it's further to come in from behind, and there you go, 10-5. Looks like this one is ready to get going straight away as well, which is pretty damn ideal. Today is certainly an interesting day. I don't know what happens. I just randomly picked up a headache. Now that I've started casting, it's kind of thrown me off a little bit. So I'm going to take a sip of my water real quick in this freeze time. Who would have thought lukewarm water is not the solution you want when you're feeling sick? Either way, enough about that. Let's see if we're actually going to see anything too eventful here in this pistol. Of course, a big one for AGO is they do try and just kind of get this game over and done with, to be honest. I think that's kind of mentality right now. They've done a pretty good job of making that first half count towards the end. Because the first pistol was a bit of a bloodbath, and it was pretty much just EPG kind of shutting their stuff, but now we're starting to see things a little bit more normal, to say the least, which is just a few 1v1s, a few Angels, and AGO taking the lead from there. Of course, it is going to be the B play. Now, we have seen the rotate coming from Groovy. That is something that we definitely want to be communicating right now. Of course, the vent being broken will give away what's coming, but Groovy, an incredible job just shutting them down. They walk into his crosshair, and it's just headshot after headshot. And for AGO, it is going to be their 11th. And EPG are left in dire straits now moving forward. Deagle's just scrambling for a chance, but nothing really coming through just yet. Playing towards B main, of course. So far, so good though. Just a lot of pressure being applied across the map, and AJ ultimately then able to convert that into a few kills. It's pretty standard stuff. Show some emotions. 85% of chat is from Poland. That is an interesting stat. You're not wrong though. Now, I mean, we've not really got kind of too much to be screaming about right now, if that's what you're looking for, to say the least. But I mean, we had a few nice kills here and there. But I mean, when we're talking at, you know, P250s and Deagle stuff, kind of getting steamrolled. Not too sure how excited you really want to get about that. I mean, we could talk really loudly about that, but I mean, there's just no need, is there? There's just really no need. It is just looking like a simple point-blank execution play from AGO. As the scoreline does find itself 13-5. This is a round we can get a little bit pumped up by, right? Because they've got the AWP. It's still like not ideal because they've got the Galil, but they've definitely got the utility to do something good here on EPG. It's just whether they're actually going to be able to go into it, or whether they're going to try and default out really early on and they just get picked apart and not be able to go into the execute. That's really going to be what we're looking for here. I like that. See, the creeper knows like you got to overhype every kill in one round. Alright, we'll do it in this round, yeah? Every kill in this round. This is definitely going to be a bit of a throw-off here, but we're going to go with it. Every kill is effectively going to be a kill in a major final right now. We'll take like a big deep breath, because I imagine this is going to be just like play-by-play for a minute. Already just looking at how this round is playing out, that actually might be the case as well. It really depends on this smoke flash towards mid. Hooch contemplating whether he wants to go through or whether he just wants to play on the other side. 1 minute 15 remains. He decided just to sit tight. Of course, you've got two players playing towards mid, ready to catch him if he did make the push. So, smart play from him to at least just sit back and see what opportunities he can make work, as the flashes will come out towards A. It is going to be Furlan to take down Creed. Toa taking down Hooch as well. That's a double kill picked up by AGO. Groovy spraying through the smoke as he shuts them down on the push, leaving just Elian towards Falkland and Yekender on the site. It all goes downhill from here as step by step the round spirals out of control. Elian and Yekender desperately clawing things back, but it's only 2 kills, and the problem is they've got the raid boss of Furlan to contend with, and he's up at Catwalk causing an absolute ruckus. Not only good for one, but a potential second as well, as it is going to be PHR to push this one over the line. AGO 14-5 as they steamroll EPG. There you go. We overhyped that round so much, but there you go. There was your round of overhyping every frag. That also felt so unnatural and so like faked, but it works. Hey, do you come on next to AGO matches? Yeah. That wasn't even that good either. That was a weird round, but I mean, it's whatever. I don't know. We're finding our groove. It's always the first game of the day. You gotta give us a chance. So just gonna be wrapping on a round. It is gonna be a simple kill for him. Creep does cut back respond, but even then it is just a short back inside from a Deagle. Nothing too crazy. Nickelback with the plant starts to change things, and getting the kill, picking up this AK, may start to really set this round apart from the others. Furlan, of course, the one player that can really respond for AGO, and I don't know if he knows how to achieve this. I mean, Nickelback is low. That nade is going to finish things off, but does he know where Hooch is? The answer is no. It's the Deagle to send him packing, as the AWP is going to be picked on up, and EPG, they will sneak it around. Red Reserve has the EPG delayed to tomorrow. You had a bet on that. Okay. The game, so the game, that's the first game of the day, right? Basically, that won't be played until after February the 26th. That's the message that was put in the chat. Yeah, it's already too much delay, unfortunately, because Red Reserve... no, that's not... That's a different game. That was Red Reserve. Frosto. Red Reserve EPG is... Oh my god, I'm trying to remember schedules now. Isn't that later tonight? Ah, yeah. You're asking me scheduling questions, man, and my head is just like filled with spreadsheets right now. This is not doing me any favors at all. I'm just not even going to answer that question anymore. You got to figure it out. HLTV is your best friend. Here for the caster and off the games. I appreciate you, buddy. It's actually a pretty nice play from Toa. Fortunately, we do see a quick trade, but I actually like Groovy's position anyway, because it still kind of keeps that advantage, just playing towards the top of barrels. Was Furlan hearing all these steps of Nickelback. I mean, this man is just pretty much the sound of music at this point. Ollie just going to make life even more difficult for him. it just gets worse and worse for EPG, because if they win this round, you can actually wave goodbye to any sort of money they've built up. It really is going to be tough. Their loss bonus is suddenly non-existent. Of course, the reason we say that is EPG did just win round number 20. So, super important they claw this one back. They're doing a pretty good job of it. Hooch and Kree both going to chime in with a headshot apiece. A high side flash as well. Means that Snatchy could have been the next target, but he isn't going to be peeking this one. Just playing very patiently from CT. Swung towards CT wall, but it is going to be a trade. Leaving Hooch on 10 HP indoor. This is a battle of wit more than anything else, because a single stray shot, and it is over. But he's got the backstab. PHR just not quite aware of his surroundings. Meaning it will be EPG to secure the second. Most importantly, second round back-to-back, and that gives them money to work with. And also, it stops AGO from really doing much here as well, which makes this game a whole lot closer. Do you commentate the next AGO matches? I will be doing this evening. AGO versus EPG, then AGO versus Ixtatus, and then EPG versus Ixtatus. That is the plan for this evening. I wish I could chat to you guys in chat, but you're all speaking Polish. Makes life a little problematic. Of course, pistols being dispatched off pretty easily there. But this, of course, is the much more important round to really be keeping an eye on now. Of course, round number 23, AGO investing into this with 5 rifles. Utility very sparse, which is something to be watching purely because they've been using that quite a lot to dictate the start of the rounds, keep them safe, allow a lot of kind of play to be done at 40 to 50 seconds in instead of very early on with that kind of aggressive, you know, flash smoke sort of play stuff. So definitely interesting now to what AGO will do when they have basically a molly and what, 2 smokes in the name. That's not much at all to try and share in some sort of structured round. Either way, the A site is once again going to find itself as the target. Door going to be opened on up, and they do just come flying on out. Kree is going to find the head of Furlan. Ruby at least trading back from Car, but how much longer for? Oh, Director, what are you doing? There we go. Yeah, we were going to say, how much longer will they be able to just wait things out towards Car before they eventually decide just to back on away and let it happen? I mean, that's another pick for Hooch. We're already starting to cement things here. Snatchy may well be good for a trade, but I think it's too little too late. I mean, he should never find that kill. That is absolute disaster. It's still 2v2, but at this point he gets a little bit aggressive. PHR is taking him down, but it's Hooch. The flick back and find 2, keeping EPG alive. Why Polish casters can't comment AGO matches? They would at least be emotional. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. I guess is my question there. I mean, emotional could be a variety of different things. I feel like you want to see that real passion favoring AGO, but like you gotta be careful there, man. You don't want to be almost biased in a sense. Of course, worth noting, it is just pistols in play for AGO. Nothing too fancy and nothing we can really expect from them here at all. Just the SMGs to feed on them, farm on them, in fact. It should realistically be a 10th round for EPG. Looks like Hooch is just going to do his best to sprint towards the site, get the plant. I mean, AGO are pretty much nowhere to be seen anyway, so it's not really going to be hugely worrying when they do try and eventually show up in these latter stages of the round. Just trying to see if they can find a stray bullet or 2 is kind of exactly what we expected as well. So far, so good. Just a lot of money being made, most importantly. As it will go 10 to 14. AGO looking for just those golden 2 rounds. And you know what? They can finally spend some dollar going into it. It is going to be 4 rifles, make that 3. They're going to go for the double AWP. I like this from them. It's a real change of pace. Sure, it's very early into the second half, but I feel like overall there's, you know, now's a good time more than any to go for it. Especially in a close game like this, I think it definitely has its impact here. Downside is you didn't really get to use any sort of B-spawn for an early pick. Elliot, meanwhile, is just getting aggressive towards Dora and working wonders. That frag on towards Toa like that is just disaster struck for Regio. Then losing PHR as well. Not looking good. Groovy at least working something up. But Furlan, he's the one to watch. Gets himself in towards A main. Drops them both dead on the site. That is huge. The bomb stuck in towards A main. Hooch has to come on out. But he's not spotted Furlan. He's staying crouched towards Fork. How is Furlan still standing? Finally, he's going to be put in the grave. But is it too late? That is the question we're now looking to be answered as a flash should be thrown high on towards the site. That'll prompt Groovy to peek. He misses that follow-up spray, but I think he's bought just enough time for Snatchy to be able to pull through. Oh, the shot is going to be missed. The smoke a little shallow. It's going to be a high flash. Snatchy going for the shot and will miss his chance. Who's just going to be planting inside of that smoke now. Snatchy then just going to lurk on around. Has a choice to make. Use the AWP or pick up an AK. I think he knows at this point that Hooch is likely to be towards quad. Just scoping in, spotting the leg. It is confirmed. That's a nice flick. Beautifully done. AGO. Map point. My point being with the kind of early and the second half thing for you there, TB Blind, it's just the fact that, like, when you look at what AGO have been pulling out, in terms of the kind of tactical depth of their CT side, they hadn't really been doing too much. It was kind of a lot of the same. So it did feel like kind of a very early pull to go for a 2 AWPs. But at the end of the day, like, it didn't really decide too much anyway. Really what was the deciding factor was Furlan just getting so deep towards Fork, able to find 2 kills as well, of course. And that back flank in A main. Not really going to credit too much towards that. Snatchy is getting a little bit done towards B, but again, it's just going to be traded. Groovy dropping on down is a little ballsy, but Hooch being completely blind. I mean, everyone seems to be just hitting their deck. It is just Elliot. All that remains, I think it might be over for EPG. Just 4 players up against him, but they are tougher than what you'd expect. He's going to try and make it work, but not quite going to be hitting those fallen star flicks. It is going to be 16 to 10 for AGO, and a nice way for them to warm up and really get themselves going. I think for EPG, they should be pretty happy overall with what they were able to show for themselves kind of in this second half. Definitely getting some rounds on the board. I mean, those 5 rounds they found on their T side were, you know, pretty strong stuff, but ultimately I still feel like they were lacking in a lot of the area, and I do think AGO pretty much controlled the game during the bulk of it, and I think that's the kind of biggest takeaway going forward. Nonetheless, I'll be back with you guys in just a few moments' time. Do not go anywhere, as we are going to be coming up with map number 2 in our 3-map affair of HellCase Cup 7 Group B.